maybe two weeks out of the year.
2 weeks? Lucky you.
I know. And so it's like, you know, just stay hydrated. You know, that's the biggest thing. Be in an environment where it lets, where you let your body do its work in cooling you off.
Let's see, the wind chill, the heat feels like 90 degrees here today, so.
That's, yeah. Right now.
Yeah, yours is just plain 90 degrees. Mine's like 80 degrees, but feels like 90.
All right, so it's going to be 104 today, though.
Yeah, I see that. Really late, apparently. It's getting hot. Air quality unhealthy. Oh my.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That goes on forever. I'm not looking at that.
It is just you now, Corey.
Yep. I'm loading in. Charlie auto clicked invites, and so he's like, "You should look at your notifications." It literally just keeps on popping. Just keeps popping on the top right.
Oh my god.
There we go. All right. Oh, literally kicked me out. 1 second. That's hilarious. It kicked me out to reconnect to him. I thought if I just hit accept, it will just keep me in. All right. And I'm in. All right. Scout's honor.
But we also know Ubisoft's internet situation is oof.
It is definitely king of the oof.
Oh, I was.
You need to draw the play. Embrace the suffering. Get more cards.
Oh, my controller's on because I was playing Isaac. I need to shut that off before it shakes my desk apart or something.
You want me to unpause you?
Yeah.
There we go.
Justin. Why?
Dude, you like you weren't paying attention. It was your turn.
Justin!
That was all
I
you.
just
You
clicked
didn't
what
move.
I had.
I was trying to move my microphone so I could tell you how annoyed I was with you doing that thing. Corey, can you move me really fast?
Mute you? Yeah. All right.
I have no idea what he's talking about, but okay.
Here you go.
How dare you? You kept reversing it and changing the color.
Go ahead, Char. I insist.
Dude. Look, I'm sorry for skipping you in the beginning, but holy crap. I played the wrong card!
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Don't be an 8, don't be an 8, don't be a red, don't be a red, don't be a red. I heard the click and I got scared. We need to watch out for Justin now. Yes, Charlie. Yes.
If it's an 8 or a 9, I can help.
I only have a 9, but it's in green.
But do you have a red?
I do not want Justin to win. Nice try, Corey.
Oh, Chara's not close to winning.
You say that?
Oh, we'll see.
Oopsies.
Oh. It's such a close match.
Right? Everybody has only up to 3 cards except
Except for me now.
Corey.
But I was down the... Oh.
Wait, did you actually...
He had a... I put a yellow 8 and he had a blue 8.
Wait, it was only a 1 round?
Yep.
23 points. Oh, I guess. Oh, yeah.
I just won rounds.
Instead of point based.
Oh, that was lame. Bye, Justin.
I was never here.
All right, I'm going to read and I'll get back on some Gungans. And after, however my run goes, after that, if you want to do some Gungans with me, you're invited. As long, as long as my reactionary brain space is good enough for that.
It seems the moment I joined, it gets strained a lot more. So
I also feel a lot more comfortable in the game now. Yes, Char? All right, let me... What's up?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. That's fine. I can start. All right. All right. It is lunchtime, so I will request that you get your food. You're gonna eat your mangoes? Okay. I'll pray. Christ, your love amazing. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for who you are. Thank you that you are the best Elohim. You're the Elohim who wants to be close to your creation. You're the Elohim that invites us to be near. Thank you for the writing that resembles that. Thank you that you are not a despot who's cruel, who finds delight in misery. Out of your love, you created us, and out of your love, you draw close to keep revealing to us the path that leads to life. And your wisdom is life. So please reveal to us what it means to the ancient audience, and in turn what it means in light of your life and love, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Wait, thank you for cheeseburger.
I have an extra on time.
There you go.
No.
Exodus chapter 26, verse 31 to chapter 27, verse 21. How to build a church, part 2. You are to make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet thread. So remember, this is about the sanctuary, right? Yeah. Or the declaration. What was it called? Declaration covenant? Declaration chest, right. Okay, you ready? Okay, all focused, all eyes focused. You are to make a curtain in blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and woven fine linen. It is to be made as a creative work with cherubs. Put it so. Ancient cherubs, right? Ancient cherubs are like pretty scary looking beasts. Not this garbage, whatever these little things are. They're supposed to be so menacing that they stop people from going into the Garden of Eden. They're the ones who defend. Maybe something like this. Oh, where did that go? The heck? But something so crazy and strong that they stop people from going into the Garden of Eden. Put on 4 posts of acacia. Thank you. Acacia. Overlay with gold. With their hooks of gold. On 4 silver bases. Put the curtain under the... Alright, I'll just do some gungan. Okay. Put the curtain under the clasps and take the declaration chest there behind the curtain. The curtain will separate... It's dry, so you just work on it until it breaks apart. The curtain will separate the holy place from the holiest place for you. Put the expiation cover on the declaration chest in the holiest place. Place the table outside the curtain and the candelabrum opposite the table to the south side of the dwelling, with the table on the north side. Make a screen for the tent doorway of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and woven fine linen, the work of an embroiderer. And make for the screen 5 posts of acacia, and overlay them with gold, with their hooks of gold, and cast for them 5 copper bases. You are to make the altar of acacia wood 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The altar will be square and 3 cubits high, and to make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns are to be one with it, and overlay it with copper. Make its buckets for removing its ashes, its shovels, basins, forks, and fire pans. Make all its utensils of copper. Make a grating for it, a mesh made of copper, and make on the mesh 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners. Put it under the altar ledge downwards. The mesh is to be halfway up the altar. Make poles for the altar, poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with copper. The poles are to be inserted into the rings, and the poles are to be on the 2 sides of the altar when it is carried. Make it hollow of boards, as it was shown you on the mountain. So they are to make it, and make a courtyard for the dwelling. In chapter 27, verse 10 through 21, Yahweh gives specifications for the hanging that delimit the courtyard. Delimit or delimit? What do you guys think that pronunciation is?
Delimit.
What do you think, Jason?
No, delimit.
That pronunciation, how do you think?
Delimit.
I know, it helps right there.
Delimit.
I put delimit.
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 I'm right.
You said D-limit, not delimit.
Oh, I was close enough.
And I need you to be close enough to be able to place where you can see the screen and focus, okay, Jason? I know, but you first had to take a look and see what the heck we're talking about. For the hanging that delimit the courtyard, 100 cubits by 50 cubits with their supports, a screen for the entrance, all made of similar material to those already specified. These verses then prescribe the bringing of oil for the light that is to burn all night outside the curtain in front of the chest.
Knowledge!
When I was a toddler in the latter part of the Second World War, so he's old. When I was a toddler in the latter part of the Second World War, family lore says that I used to watch the fireworks and the bonfires from my 2nd floor bedroom. These were actually bombs falling on the RAF airstrip that is now Birmingham International Airport, and fires that during the bombing devastated the nearby city of Coventry, including its 14th century cathedral. A decade or so later, I visited the ruins of the cathedral at a time when a new cathedral was being built. Does God really want cathedrals? Wouldn't there have been some better way of spending those resources in God's name? The question was being asked again when we moved to Los Angeles and the Roman Catholic Archdiocese was building its new cathedral. Wouldn't the money be better spent on the poor? Why would God want a sanctuary like this one Exodus describes? Why would God have wanted to give such detailed instructions for its building? Why would God then have wanted these instructions for its building to be included in his book? While the instructions concerning the sanctuary, so you hear about what happened when he was a kid? What happened when he was a kid? Yep, and then he was watching the... Yeah, and it was like bonfires, right? And fireworks. And so he visited a cathedral that was bombed while it was being rebuilt. So the question is, why would God use these... why would God want the resources be used to make these elaborate buildings? While the instructions concerning the sanctuary will be needed when it was being built, there would be no need to write them down. Putting them into writing made them available to people living long afterwards. It is instructive to imagine people reading them as they read about the building of David and Solomon's temple, or about the second temple built after the exile, or as they took part in the building or planning of these. The first temple was David's idea, not God's, and God had mixed feelings about it. That relates to the sense in which sanctuaries exist for our sake, not God's. So, what are sanctuaries? Who are they for? They're actually for ours. For the people.
Well, it's a place to pray to God.
Right, but we're the ones who feel like we need a special place to draw close.
We don't need it anymore.
Right. That's
But
why
it's still used.
that's why we're the priesthood of all believers. So wherever we go, Yahweh dwells among us through the Holy Spirit. That relates to the sense in which sanctuaries exist for our sake. So for whose sake?
Our sake.
Not God's.
Not God.
Well, don't insult him then.
No, that's what it says next.
Yeah, not God's. Right there.
But don't insult him then.
I'm not insulting. Do you not like the way I said it?
No, I'm not saying that. I just wanted to.
We have noted that there were no sanctuaries in Genesis and no sanctuaries in the early decades of the church. Yet, soon Christian congregations were building sanctuaries. God did not need special places to meet with people, but people did. Here in Exodus 2, God was meeting people where they were in their need, as physical human beings, for a physical place. There was a specific reason for God's unease with David's desire to build a palace for God, based on the fact that David himself had one. God liked being on the move rather than being stuck in one place. The instructions for building the wilderness sanctuary would remind people of this fact. This sanctuary was a glorified tent. So what was this sanctuary? It's a fancy tent.
Fancy. So fancy.
Not a glorified palace. The instructions keep incorporating reference to the portable nature of the dwelling's elements. It could stay on the move, as the God who was accessible to people there would stay on the move. The temple was an imposing structure on the top of the hill in Jerusalem, towering above ordinary people. The wilderness sanctuary was a magnificent dwelling in the midst of the people in their encampments, on a level with them. When the temple had been burnt and devastated by the Babylonians, these instructions for the wilderness sanctuary would remind people of some truths about God and them that they perhaps needed to take more account as they contemplated rebuilding it. Partly for reasons of climate. When Western people think of a sanctuary, we think of a large building inside which the whole congregation meets for worship. The Temple Mount in Jerusalem gives you more of an idea of the dynamic of the temple or the wilderness sanctuary. The sanctuary itself is a small sacred structure, 5 by 15 yards. that especially belongs to God. Surrounded by a yard the size of a small soccer field, people can gather there to be with God, especially for big worship occasions, or just to hang out and actually play soccer as they do on the Temple Mount. It is the part of the structure where God welcomes people, as opposed to God's private rooms. God's dwelling works the same as a family dwelling, and the yard is the scene of family gatherings. The sacrificial altar stood there because of its significance for this meaning. Here, families and individual men and women would bring the offering that expressed their love and commitment to God, their gratitude for what God had done for them, and their desire to make up for wrong they had done. The details of the construction are unclear, as is the significance of the horns, though they perhaps stood for divine strength, like the horns of a bull. 2/3 of the actual sanctuary comprises the holy place, where stands the table with the present bread and the candelabrum. Exodus does not explain the significance of these and other features of the sanctuary, but one can imagine that they would remind people of the way God provided their daily bread and the light they needed on their way. If anybody wondered whether the bread was food for God, their faith would soon point out that this did not fit what they knew of God. The other third of the sanctuary is the holiest place. That most powerfully symbolized the presence of God. The chest with the declaration gives by God was there. On one hand, the existence of the courtyard expresses the reality of being in the actual presence of the God who wants to be in fellowship with the people. On the other, the separateness of the holiest place reminds them of the real distinction between the heavenly God and created humanity, and it safeguards against their confidence becoming a wrong kind of familiarity. Between the two rooms of the sanctuary is the curtain with its embroidered cherubs, corresponding to the cherub statues over the chest. They constituted another reminder of the presence of God there. So, there is no symbol for the presence of God, for the actual presence of God.
Yeah.
But cherubs that hold the throne of God symbolize that. But you can't as you can't make symbols of wind. Every symbol of wind is like dirt or leaves. Things are getting moved by the wind. But you can't actually symbolize wind. Isn't that funny? All right, we can start, friends. All right, I'll be back, Justin, and I'll be back into the Gungans.
Okay.
Gungans. Gungans. All right, let me switch.